and welcome to another in the ARM What is Program series. In each episode, we dive into a tech topic to give you insight and perspective into some of today's hottest design trends. I'm Brian Fuller, Editor-in-Chief at ARM, and today we're going to find out what is functional safety. And to help us with that, I want to introduce Suraj Gajendra, Senior Director of Technology Strategy with ARM's Automotive and IoT line of business. When he's not helping us understand what is functional safety, Suraj is watching, reading, or playing cricket. Let's dive right in. Suraj, we hear a lot these days about functional safety. Just what is it?
Thanks, Brian. Functional safety is a technology that defines the level of safety standards that our products have to actually meet, right? For applications like automotive and industrial robotics, the products that get built using our IPs needs to meet certain safety requirements and regulations. Like, for example, if the robotic arm in an industrial setup has to perform or has to basically kind of like, in a faulty situation needs to come to a halt or to a safe mode or whatever, then it needs to basically be able to do that. So safety regulations help define how, the system is actually kind of like taken into a safe mode at that level.
So that sounds like a complex undertaking. Does functional safety slow down the design process, or is that a non-issue?
Up until now, some of the semiconductor companies have been kind of using their existing chips and existing systems and trying to make it work in an automotive or an industrial setup, right? So when you try to do that after the fact, after the design is done, then yes, it is difficult to retrofit some of the safety standards and safety requirements into the design. So then you kind of like have to go back and redo some of these steps, right? But if you kind of plan for it ahead, if you think that, okay, these are my requirements, these are the markets that I'm actually going to address or target, then some of the safety requirements are fit in or, within the product definition or the architecture, right? So it doesn't necessarily kind of delay the process, but yes, it does add more complexity, right? I'm not saying it does not. It does add complexity, but if planned at the right time at the very beginning and developed at the right time with all the concepts in place and the requirements in place, then it should not delay the overall process.
So, Suraj, does functional safety extend to other applications outside the automotive world?
It absolutely does, yes. So, for example, industrial automation, right? Industrial robotics. So these are all different applications where, for example, same concept, right? I mean, if in an industrial setup and if there is a robotic arm picking up materials coming down a conveyor belt, and if for some reason it malfunctions, then it has to go into some sort of a safe mode, right? It has to kind of like either come to a halt or just switch off or whatever, right? So functional safety is absolutely it's applicable to industrial space as well, right? And the standards for that is different, right? So the definition, because what happens is in an industrial setup, the time to react is very less compared to automotive. Like we talk about microseconds in industrial automation cycles, whereas it's sort of like milliseconds in an automotive setup. So the time to react and stop a robotic arm is much less than an automotive setup.
Okay, so now put on your visionary hat for a second. How do you see functional safety technology evolving in the next, say, 2 to 3 years? And what new use cases might benefit from it?
Perfect, cool. Now, the thing is, like I told earlier, Brian, I mean, people are kind of taking safety very seriously. People are defining their next generation SOCs with understanding what the safety requirements is, right? And yes, safety, there are different levels of safety, right? You can actually kind of like in industrial, for example, there are standards like SIL 1, 2, 3, whereas in automotive, it is, ASIL, beta, ASIL, C, ASIL, delta, kind of different levels. So, and designing your chips for each of those different levels kind of like comes with, obviously penalty in area, penalty in power and stuff like that, right? But people are kind of thinking about it upfront right now. So my thinking is over the next, say, 3, 4, 5 years, there is going to be more and more, chips that will be safety aware, right? So I'm not saying all of them will actually hit ASIL delta or the highest level of safety, right? That depends upon what application that they're actually targeting, but they will be built with, with some sort of safety, so that it becomes much more easy for for the system integrators to use those and build the equipments.
Well, thanks, Suraj. In just a few minutes, you've educated us on this really fascinating topic of functional safety. Check out all our other What Is episodes here, and be sure to subscribe to this channel, because we'll be adding more as the year progresses. Thanks for listening.